Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking all about self-empowerment. Today's a really exciting video for me because I'm announcing something that is going to help you stay empowered in your everyday life, something that I created, a little tool to help you. But we're also going to be talking about what that means, like what does it mean to be empowered and why it's so important, and some tips for you. So this is going to be a really good video. I'm really excited about it. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel for future videos on personal and spiritual growth, and also check out my website at followyourOwnRhythm.com with additional resources and blog posts and online courses and workbooks that will help you on your journey. Okay, so what does self-empowerment mean? It basically literally translates down to being in your power, in your power. Okay, so it's at the most basic level, it's just to know that you are not a victim. You are not a victim of life, of your circumstances. Nothing on the outside is here to hurt you. Nothing on the outside has power over you, power over your feelings, over your thoughts, over anything. That you have control over your life, and you are free to, you have free will. Like, you are free to decide for yourself, to make choices for yourself, to live life the way that you want to live life, to think how you want to think, to believe what you want to believe, to generate happiness from within, to find happiness in the small moments of life, to be present, to feel, the way that you want to feel, to vibrate at the level that you want to vibrate. I feel like being disempowered is adopting the mindset that you are a victim and you have no control over your choices, your life, your feelings, your energy, that there's something out there that's going to save you, that you have to blame the outside world for everything that happens to you. And it's really just not being able to take responsibility for yourself and for your life and for who you are. And the mistakes that you make and the things that happen to you. You think that everything happens to you and against you, and it's kind of here to punish you. And it's kind of like this poor me mindset, life is against me, life is out to get me type of mindset. So that's being disempowered. It's really all about the perspective that you choose to have. It's about the perspective from which you choose to see life. Okay, that is being in your power. Is like choosing your own perspective, choosing your own thoughts, and choosing positivity, right? Like choosing peace, choosing presence, choosing love, choosing peace. I already said that, but it's important. It's about choosing to see things from a higher perspective, choosing to see things from an empowered perspective, to where okay, I don't like something about my life and I have the power to change it. And I think that the most important times that it's really important to remember to be empowered, to be in your power, is when you feel like shit. It's in those moments when you let fear take over you, or just feeling a lot of pressure from the outside world, right? Just to fit in, or to be a certain way, or to do things a certain way, or just all these pressures, that are from the outside world, but really they live in your head, because you allow them to live in your head. You allow that pressure to affect you. But yeah, it's in those moments that I think it's the most important to remember our power and to get back into our self-worth and self-love, and remembering who we are, and regaining our confidence, and regaining our energy, and regaining having a new perspective, and just kind of rebooting ourselves. Okay, so I think it's in those moments that is the most important, when we have gone way into the deep darkness of fear and worry and all of that stuff. It's in those moments that we need to get ourselves out. And I think self-empowerment is the thing that gets you out. It's empowering yourself and being strong within yourself to feel better. Because if you don't bring yourself out of that dark mess that you're in, what's going to bring you out? You're going to wait for some friend to tell you something nice about you, or you're going to wait for some life event to happen that's going to make you feel better, or you're going to wait for money to come to you to lift your mood. That's all temporary. Those outside things, will boost your mood, but you'll probably go back to the same place afterward, because you haven't actually dissolved the actual issue, because it came from the lift came from outside of you, not from inside of you. You didn't do it to yourself. And also, that's waiting for other people or life or outside things to happen in your favor so that you can feel better. To me, that's being a victim to life. That's being a victim of your circumstances. That's waiting for things on the outside to happen so that you can be a certain way, so you can feel a certain way. Okay, so I'm not about that. I'm about empowering myself and you, and reminding you that you have the power within you to lift yourself up, to get yourself in a happy mood, to be happy. You can generate happiness from within. You can live life the way you want to live your life. You can create whatever life that you want to live. I actually have a blog on my website called 21 signs that you have victim mentality and how to empower yourself. So if you want to check that out, just to become more aware of yourself and how you are acting like a victim. You might think that, oh no, I'm not a victim, I'm so empowered, you know, I'm in my power. But we don't realize how subtle it is, you know. We don't realize how much we do rely on the outside world to make us happy, or how much we blame the outside world for our problems, or we expect things to go a certain way in order for us to feel a certain way. Like, we're not really aware of these things unless we become aware of them, like unless we start to pay attention. So I really highly recommend that you do become more aware of when you get sucked into this disempowerment and then get yourself out of it. And what I want to talk to you guys about, which I'm really, really excited, is how to get yourself out. So I went through a pretty dark time in my life this past year, obviously, like we all did because of this pandemic. But in addition to the pandemic, there's a lot of other big major things that happened in my life, some by choice, but it was still hard no matter what, that really just kind of made me feel really depressed and hopeless about my future, hopeless about my life. And then, like I said, bring the pandemic into it, and we're all sitting at home feeling like shit, right? And so one of the things that really got me out of like that dark time and really genuinely, truly helped me is remembering my power, remembering who I am. And I would start telling myself like these empowering messages, like reminders, things that I know, things that I've learned along my journey, right? But it kind of came to a point where I like gathered all of that wisdom that I knew that I had learned in my life thus far. And I'm like, okay, let's make this happen. Like, let's get me out of this mess, because I don't like being in this darkness. So let me get myself out of this. What can I do? So I would remind myself of these messages, you know, on either a daily basis or whenever I just need to get myself out of this funk. And I felt really empowered afterward, like really motivated and really like back in touch with my truth, with myself. And I'm like, wow, this is so helpful. So one thing led to another, and I created these messages to be able to be utilized in a more efficient way. As a tool. So I created an oracle deck. I created a self-empowerment oracle deck that lays in this magic bag here that I'll show you in a second. But this was legitimately like something that I wanted to do for myself, and it was really helpful. So initially I got these little cards or whatever, and I like just wrote the messages on the back. And I was like, you know what? I got to create like a professional deck for myself and for other people to use. So the intention was for so I gathered the messages that were like really helpful for me, and I came up with some other messages, you know, from my bank of knowledge that I have gained, and just things like messages that help me. I mean, this is stuff that I talk about like on Instagram too all the time, and like in my blog. So I just basically brought it all together into one. And there's 78 cards in this deck. All right, so let's just take it out and let's reveal. So it comes in this, so the self-empowerment deck I am selling on my website, but it comes in this like purple cute little velvet bag. And we have 78 cards. And this is how it looks from the front. Self-empowerment oracle deck. So obviously I designed this, but you have this tiger on the front, to me representing just being in your power, being very powerful, courageous, strong, independent. And then he has his little third eye here, which represents like seeing clearly, being in touch with your intuition, being in touch with your higher self, having clarity of mind. All about the truth, seeing the truth, not being afraid of the truth, things like that. And then we have some messages, obviously, like on the back. And it does come with a little card that kind of tells you how to use this deck. So like tips for using this deck. But I'm going to go through that in this video. So I'm going to tell you like how I use this deck and how you can use it at home to empower yourself, to stay in your power. The way that I recommend using this deck is mainly when you are feeling like crap, okay? So when you're feeling like you need a boost, you are disempowered, you catch yourself living in a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety, insecurity, you feel people are judging you, or there's a lot of pressure from the outside world, maybe even pressure you put on yourself, just, you know, like you're in a funk, like you're just in that bad place. So obviously first you have to become aware that you're in that place. But second, then you would be like, okay, like, let me get a message. Another way that you can use these cards is to pull a card and to just kind of, just like randomly, even when you feel okay, just like a homework assignment or something, just like pull a card and journal on it or meditate on it and be like, how am I following that? Like, am I empowered in that way or am I not? So like, let's see. So don't wait for someone else to go first, you go first. So you would, let's say, pull this card and be like, how am I holding myself back? How am I waiting for other people to give me permission to do what I want to do? How am I waiting for other people to do something first so that I feel comfortable enough to do it? You know what I'm saying? So like you would kind of journal on that message. And this is all about self-empowerment, self-reflection, personal growth. I'm assuming this is what you guys are about because you're watching my videos. So yeah. Another way that you can use it is to do a reading for yourself. So do like an oracle reading, right? You could incorporate it into like a tarot reading too, if you know how to read tarot. You can use it as sort of like a boost, like an uplifting message. Also, you can pull it in the morning, like every morning, and just be like, like whatever card you pull, like you pull a card, your life purpose is bigger than your ego and fear. And then you're going to kind of focus on this all day. So you're going to set the intention to focus on this message all day. Right? So it's kind of like strengthening your belief in yourself and your like strengthening your values and your truth and like who it is that you want to become in life, because all these messages are really empowering in that way. So that's how you can use the cards, or that's when you would use the cards, I guess. Okay, how you use the cards, I'm going to kind of go through that, but I do want to point out that it's important that you set an intention. Like before pulling a card, I think it's important to kind of ask your higher self, ask the energies around you, ask the universe, whatever it is that you want to ask, just like, hey, give me a card that I need right now. Like, give me a message that I need to hear most right now. And, or whatever your intention is. So like, hey, I don't feel good right now. Like, yeah, I recognize I'm living in a lot of fear. There's a lot of pressure that I feel about my life. I don't know what to do, what choice to make. I kind of want to get out of this energy. What message do I need to hear most right now? And I promise you the message that you need to hear most is the message that will come out. And you might have a few cards, like this has happened to me every time. I'm like, everything, it was always what I needed to hear. And it really brought me back to myself. It really brought me back to myself. It like reconnected me to who I am. So some of these messages are really uplifting, but some of them are more about the truth. Okay, so they'll be maybe a little bit harder to hear. But I feel like at the end of the day, the truth is what sets you free. The truth is what empowers you. So however hard it is to hear and you don't want to hear it, and it might sound a little bit harsh, it's something that you need to hear. That's just your ego resisting, and it is something that you need to hear. And if you accept that truth like, for example, stop blaming other people and take responsibility for your life. That might sound like a harsh message, but it's definitely the truth. It's something that you need to know in order to truly be empowered, because you can't blame other people. Like, it's not their responsibility. It's always your responsibility to create the life that you want, okay? And to feel the way that you want to feel. So those are important things. So like set an intention and be, when you're pulling the card, like think about like wanting to get a message that is for you. Now, if you don't believe in this energy stuff, that's fine too. You can literally just use the cards as like just messages instead of having a notebook with like all of the like empowering messages, memes, like written down. It's just more fun this way, I feel. It's just like more interesting and it makes it more fun. And they're pretty, so I don't know. That always helps me. Okay, so these are some ways that you can pull a card. So I would shuffle the deck to, kind of give it a good like mix up the messages, mix up the energy, shuffle the deck however you shuffle decks. I'm sure you played poker before and you had to shuffle, yeah. So this is bigger than a poker deck. It's like a tarot size deck. So if you're familiar with tarot, it's that size. Okay, so you shuffle the deck, and these are ways that you can pull a card. You can either split the deck, so you can just kind of split it wherever you feel it and pull a card, pull the top card. Release the past. So this would be a message for you. And like I said, you can either journal on this, meditate on it, reflect on it, and how you're holding on to the past in some way. Or this is something that you need to hear probably. Like when you're all up in your head, overthinking, this might be just the message that you need to hear, like, oh, okay, I need to let go. Another way that you can pull a card is by just kind of, you know, focusing your attention, focusing your intention, and just being like, okay, I'm just going to pull one. You are capable of building the exact life that you desire. Sorry for the glare. Okay, so that would be your message. You can pull more than one if you feel like, okay, I need more cards. You know, you pull another one. Don't settle. There's just all sorts of messages in here, okay? All sorts of messages to empower you. Like I promised you, you will be empowered. Okay, another way that you can pull a card is by just like kind of laying out the deck and just, you know, whichever one's looking at you, cut out toxic people from your life. My favorite way, though, to pull a card is to shuffle and just let whatever card wants to be shown to you fly out. Whatever card wants your attention, they will just fly out like magic. And sometimes a whole bunch flies out. It doesn't always work out, but, you know, you just kind of shuffle and then they just fly out for you. That's my favorite way of doing it. So you deserve to be happy, and the wisdom you seek is inside of you. So, and then we have dream big and don't stop at the bottom. I just wanted to show you the different colors of the deck. So we have pink, purple, green, and yellow are the colors. Very physically appealing, I think. And yeah, so that's how you would pull the cards, or you can do it however you want. Those are just some examples and some tips. And I think that my favorite way of using this deck really is in the morning when I would wake up, is just to kind of be like, okay, what kind of message do I need to hear today? What do I need to focus on today? You know, what, yeah, just like, what do you want to tell me? My soul, I'm talking to my soul, you know, my soul. What do you want to tell me? What do you want to communicate to me? My higher self, or the universe, God, the divine, spirit guides. What do you want to tell me? What do I need to know today? Oh, that's what I need to focus on today. Cool. And this one also flipped over. And then your life purpose is bigger than your fear and ego. This already came out. This is definitely a message for me or for you or for someone. And find meaning in all of your experiences. And then I would kind of like, you know, think about these cards and be like, okay, yeah, like how does this apply to my life, you know? And I'd kind of just like set it off to the side just to kind of sit there. And I would remember that these were the cards that came out for the day. And throughout my day, as I go through my experiences, I would be like, oh, that's so interesting because that card plays into this experience 100%. Like, when I think something bad happens to me and I'm like, damn, like, why did that happen? Like, really? Like, this is like the worst thing right now. And I'd be like, find meaning in all of your experiences. I'm meant to find meaning in this because there's meaning to this experience. I am not a victim. There's something to this and I can change my perspective and I'm in control. Okay, so, or whenever you're like afraid to do something that you feel called to do and you're like, oh, I can't, I'm gonna play small because it's so scary, and you're like, oh no, I gotta be strong because my calling, my life purpose, my purpose in helping this person, this, you know, or giving this homeless person money right now, or like buying them a sandwich or something, makes me feel so uncomfortable because I've never done something like that. But your purpose is bigger than your fear, you know? And it's like in those daily moments of life that these cards get themselves like incorporated, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And it empowers you throughout your day. So that's one of my favorite ways to use this deck. And then when you feel like crap, like when you're just feeling really low, negative, this negative state, negative energy, just to be like, what do I need to hear right now? You know, pull a card. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to cry. It's okay to feel your emotions. You know, you're right where you need to be. Yeah, so these are my cards. I love them. I hope that you love them. And you can purchase them if you would like. I will leave the link below on how you can do that. And I also hope to make a like a workbook that goes along with it that kind of explains the messages a little bit more, like gives like a little excerpt of like what the message means, and then a space for you to like journal on that. So that's still a work in progress, but I will update the description box below, and I'll put the link to that as well. But yeah, that is my self-empowerment deck. I also hope to be making a lot more of these decks, because I'm not gonna lie, this was like super fun, and this is like my thing. I like to make things and design things, and it's so helpful, and I love to do readings. So yeah, I don't know, this is like right up my alley. But I hope to be making other types of decks, like with regards to like self, right, like personal growth, and also like messages from the universe, and just anything that will help you on your journey to really guide you and get clarity, and to get back in touch with yourself and with your truth. So yeah, this is the deck again from the front, and I'll leave the link below where I'll have like more pictures of the like individual cards, but like just a few other ones. Your pain is your teacher, do not run from it. Believe that anything is possible. Let go of your old self and embrace the new you. No one's coming to save you, only you can save you. That's a tough one to hear, but it's one that needs to be heard. Let the universe surprise you. Yeah. You are lovable just the way you are. You can generate happiness from within. Yeah, so that's it. That's what I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you check out my deck. And if you do, I really hope that it will empower you and that it will help you on your journey. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sending you lots of love. I will talk to you next time. Bye.